Didn't owe them anything. They tried to take everything that was mine, but they didn't deserve to be called my parents because they've never really been like that. I sneered at them, told them they were lying narcissists, and told them to take care of their own business. The reason being is that they know I will call the cops if they don't leave my house after 30 days. My dad looked very angry. He tried to say or do something, but my mom stopped him by grabbing his shoulder and shaking her head. He looked down at me and left. They left. Yes, but not without a lot of stress. During that last month, they either tried to change my mind by making me feel bad or ignored me totally. For each day they had to leave, I marked on the calendar in the living room with a red pen. A big red circle showed them exactly which day they were to be out. I still remember that March 2nd was the last day. It wasn't until the day they had to leave my house for good that my parents finally did, even when they had to move all of their stuff out of the house and sleep on the floor in the guest room for a few days. These people were so sure they could get me to let them stay that they didn't even try to find an apartment until after the court eviction. Also, it took my mom weeks of hard work to find a place. They had to settle for a small, bad studio apartment in the next city over, because that was the only thing they could find so quickly. A lot like what I had to do when I was 18. Very strange. I took my mom to see it once, and the place was awful. The walls and rugs were a baby barf green color, and the only window looked out onto a brick wall. There was no dishwasher, the stove was the smallest I'd ever seen, and the toilet looked like it needed to be replaced. It wasn't very quiet inside either, thanks to the walls. While we were there, two people were already fighting loudly in the flat next door. My mother did everything she could to give me sad looks and hints that I should feel bad, that I was forcing them to live in such a place. But I pretended I wasn't aware of anything until she stopped. They signed the lease right away and spent the weekend moving in the few things they owned. Finally, they asked for my guest room's queen-size bed, dresser, and flat-screen TV. After they had slept in that room for 5 months, I told them to leave, because I didn't want them in the house anymore. They looked at me like I was treating them like they were sick and didn't want anything else. As soon as they had to leave for good, I changed the locks on all the outside doors. They had spent their last night in my guest room and all of their stuff was at the flat. As they got into the van, they saw me start to take off the old lock on the front door. I didn't say anything, and neither did they. They watched me for a while though, until I put on the new doorknob. After that, they finally left. When that van went down the road, I let out a huge sigh of relief. I thought that their time had finally come, and they didn't need to worry about me. They could live under a rock.